Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Kingdom conversation on immersive hospitality, where culture creates value. As I said, today we will ask how can hospitality projects not just host guests, but also invest in culture. I would like to welcome my panelists, Mr. Ibrahim, الناصر, CEO of Saudi Artisanal Company, Ms. Reem Qarash, CEO of Shedda Hotels, and Ms. Noha Qattan, Deputy Minister of National Partnership and Talent Development, Ministry of Culture. أهلا وسهلا فيكم.
أهلا وسهلا.
Hello.
Shall we jump to the subject right away? All right. So, first of all, I would like to ask Mr. Ibrahim on how crafts can actually be scaled into investable hospitality assets, and then we move on with the rest of the questions.
Thank you, Yasser. I believe scaling the artisanal products is simply how to systemize them. And what does that mean is how to use them and adding them as hotel designs or maybe guest experiences or to leverage on the retail stores. So having these, it will affect and change the consumer behavior. It will push the guest to choose your hotel over another. And once that happens, it will, in a positive way, affect the financial performance and three main things. The first one is to increase the spending per guest and longer stays and potentially for the retail store revenue. So that means the artisanal product is not a decoration anymore. It's an added value for the hospitality portfolio.
Amazing. Jumping to Reem, maybe as both a hotel CEO and HVS partner, where do you see the strongest investor appetite for cultural hospitality models today?
So generally, investors today are drawn more into the idea of investing in lifestyle and boutique hotel that embed cultural storytelling. You can see this appetite is strongest in a market with a rising young or experience-driven demographic, such as Jeddah, Riyadh in particular. For those lifestyle hotel or boutique, they are expected to lead in art, design, and cultural integration, community integration that it's not like the standardized chain. For investor, that translated into long-term depreciation, premium RevPAR or revenue per available room, let's say, and listing their hotels to be anchored as a cultural destination, the alignment with the vision.
Amazing. What was the abbreviation you just said?
I will make it simple. Yeah. It's revenue per available room, or you can refer, for people who are not investing in hotels, you can say average daily rate. Oh, that would be much easier.
The average daily rate.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
You can actually have premium on average daily rate if you list culture as part of the experience.
Okay, amazing. But jumping to Noha, from your perspective today on partnerships, how can investment in culture be hardwired into hospitality deals, let's say from the start?
Sorry?
So,
sorry, go ahead.
First of all, I'm very happy to be here, and I think we're happy to be here announcing today a Culture and Hospitality program that we launch in partnership with our colleagues at the Ministry of Tourism.
Amazing.
The concept is simple. We work with our hotel operators, with our venue operators from the start to think about all the cultural elements, tangible and conceptual elements of culture in Saudi Arabia, to make sure that our visitor journey, no matter from where the visitor is coming from, has a touch point throughout the visitor experience with all of our cultural elements that exist today, be it in the music that they listen to, the culinary opportunities or options on their room service menu, everything from frontliners to back of house and so on, and make sure that this is something that's well embedded in that experience. Working with our colleagues, be it in hotels or on the governance side, we look at policy, we look at incentive schemes, we look at different providers of those cultural contents to make sure that it's embedded not only at a superficial level or as an overlay, but rather it's well embedded in the design of every element and aspect of the visitor journey.
Do you think cultural diplomacy through hotels can actually be monetized?
For sure, I think Reem mentioned in her answer that once you embed culture as part of your guest experience, you can even add a premium. Today we see, looking at the benchmarks around the world, hotels that have been able to reflect that or well embed it have higher visitor satisfaction rates, they have higher return visitor rates, and they can add different pricing schemes to their pricing schemes in general, so that you can make sure that it makes the case for a hotel to look into investing into culture and adding it as part of their offering.
And do you consider this soft power?
For sure. Today, let me think about all of our experiences as tourists somewhere around the world. Your most memorable experiences are ones that were unique and well embedded in culture. Your generic experience, or let's say your typical experience in a hotel that's very basic and excellent per se, but doesn't have that identity or cultural element to it, are ones that you'd probably forget. But you remember the tea experience that you had in Japan, or the coffee or the smell of oud walking into a hotel lobby. You remember the oriental music out of a traditional folkloric dance, or somewhere that you walked into. So those are the experiences we want to make sure that people leave Saudi Arabia to become cultural ambassadors on our behalf, and make sure that they return to Saudi to experience and enjoy a bit more of that.
Even for locals, you know, when I stay at Sheda, I actually experience all the Saudi artistic walls that I see throughout the hallways and all the way to the room. So it's amazing. Reem, what are the financial risks today of embedding too much heritage, and how do you mitigate them?
Can you repeat your question?
So,
yeah.
The financial risks of embedding too much heritage into...
Okay. I think when you ask me this question, I can recall some of the experience or some of the project that I've personally seen in Saudi, putting too much, implementing too much heritage. So obviously there is always the risk of being over niche. So that will let international traveler not come to your hotel.
Right.
And there's, if it's too much heritage, I mean, some people, it's actually copying the heritage element as it is. Okay. That will not be that much attractive to international traveler. So what we do in Sheda is just copying, inspiring, taking the soul or the story of the culture without copying as it is. There's always a risk of the capex inflation. So you start, the cost of implementing the culture in a hotel room should not exceed actually building a regular hotel. So the same fit-out budget allocated for the room should be, remain the same for a cultural boutique or cultural hotel. So because by the end of the day, this is a profitable project. The investor want to return on that.
That is right.
The third risk, I think, is the operation of the hotel. So I always say, whenever we have a new project, new collaboration with an artist, please keep in mind how to maintain that piece and how to clean it. Because by the end of the day, we value practicality. We want to be practical. So I think those are the main risk, and mitigation culture through curation with balance. So what we want is blend those cultural Saudi authentic, elements such as the Saudi coffee ritual or the asiriqat or the artwork with modern design, which make it much more easier and convenience.
So you do have control over that.
Yeah. That's one of our value. We have three main value. We are rooted in culture, we value curated experience, and we are practical.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So when we speak about niche, investors often worry that crafts are niche. How do you convince them that there is real return on investment, Ibrahim?
I think the data is very clear now. Yeah. The cultural tourism is one of the fastest growing segment worldwide. And for example, in Saudi Arabia, we have like 6.5 million visitors came to heritage sites last year. Also, we have
What was the number?
6.5 million last year. And on the other hand, we have 60% growth in the heritage hotels in 1 year. So by integrating these artisanal products and experiences in an innovative way, it will increase the repeated bookings, the customer driven to your hotel, and that's mean unleashing new business lines for the hotels and revenue streams as well.
Amazing. So, Noha, what tools today, let's say maybe funding programs, PPP models, licensing, incentives, that best unlock private capital for culture in hospitality in specific?
So going back to the program that we're launching, Culture and Hospitality, the idea of it is simple. We're working with Ministry of Tourism as a regulator, so embedding the standards, the criteria, the guidelines that help hotel operators and hotels.
You're pointing at Reem.
I'm pointing at Reem as one of the hotels that hopefully we're working with as a pilot. But the idea is with Ministry of Tourism, they become the legislator and the regulator on all criteria and standards. Looking after that with the hotels and hotel operators. The second is looking at our partnership with the Culture Development Fund and releasing and launching quite a few incentive schemes for hotel operators to take this on as a new venture. We understand that it might not be as widely spread as we want it to be just yet, but if we put that as a target and provide the tools and enablers to those hotels, we have a great appetite from hotels already asking and seeking that kind of support, which we're happy to extend. Then come the actual artists, suppliers, providers in the sector, such as the artisanal company or WIRF, or the artists themselves, designers, fabricators, and so on from the value chain of culture and different elements in music and fashion and culinary and arts and so on. And making sure that we're able to connect them with the hotels. So creating the guideline or the database to make sure those connections are taking place, people are able, and hotels are able to reach them easily, and then continue from that point onwards and how they choose to integrate.
Amazing, providing a lot of opportunities in that case. What do you think, Reem?
I agree with her. I think Princess Noura and Faisal and Adlal tried to make this initiative by herself, and she's the one actually, I think that was 4 or 5 years ago, who was trying to connect us with those artists, because there's a huge gap. It's not only gap between the businesses and the art and craft world, it's also how to do business. So they don't have a proper pricing. If you find any, for example, artist, either he will sell his piece really expensive or very too low. So it's just like creating that community and help them how to do business with a big institute, with the big hotels. And just finding the right formula. And for example, why I'm saying this, we usually collaborate with those artists in very early stage of the project. So why do we do that? Because we want the culture to be embedded.
Embedded, yes.
Yes, we don't want to have like piece of here and there and that's it. So what's the story? Yeah. What's the story of it? So yeah, I agree with what you're saying.
And do you have that formula, Noha, to help them create that atmosphere, that storytelling atmosphere that they can do locally?
So that formula is actually everybody combined today to work together on doing this. It won't happen from one side or one end. Rather, it needs to happen from all parts of it.
360.
The whole ecosystem coming together and working closely to start from the beginning, as Reem was mentioning, and to make sure that as we take it forward, it remains authentic. It doesn't become gimmicky, it doesn't become over the top, but rather really add value the way we want it to be, showcasing our culture and also making economic sense for the investors in it.
It's not a piece of art, it's actually the story of the heritage embedded within the...
it's the whole narrative behind it.
It's the whole narrative behind it. Amazing. Ibrahim, let me jump to you again. And what is your pledge today to investors and artisans alike about, let's say, the future of cultural craft and hospitality in specific?
Okay. My pledge is very simple.
And you are live on Shahid and Thaqafiyya and live streaming.
True. The artisanal products, it's not longer sitting at the margin of hospitality. It will be one of the more important elements in its core. And for the investors, I think we discussed with my colleagues about the potential of creating new business lines and revenue streams by adapting these kind of products in an innovative way and not misusing them, as Reem said. And for artisans, it means sustained business for them, fair income, and global exposure. And if you allow me, Yasser, I will tell you an example for the Saudi artisanal company. In the third quarter of this year, only in 3 months, we worked with more than 600 artisans to increase our SKUs products in the market from 200 up to more than 900 products. And that allows us to have new businesses with the government entities and private businesses and even with the NGO. So we are more than happy to work with investors and artisans to transfer the Saudi Arabia artisanal products from heritage assets to a global hospitality advantage.
I liked how you looked at Reem as an investor or a client, maybe a future client, hopefully.
We will. This is an investment forum. After all, we're striking deals on stage.
Absolutely.
Exactly. And that was the pledge, huh? Okay, right. Let's move, or actually let's stay within the investor side. Reem, let me ask you, do investors value cultural experiences the same way us as guests do? Or is there a gap?
Yeah. So I think there is a perception gap here. So guests value curated experience and...
Because he's enjoying it.
Exactly, and authenticity.
Yeah.
While, and actually there is a study that 86% of the guests think that the curated experience, or let's say the authenticity overall, lead to higher customer satisfaction. On the other side...
But it leads to higher cost?
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
On the other side, investor really focus, and I'm telling that as an investor, really focus on the return and the scalability of their project. So the moment they build the first hotel, they want to build the second hotel. So they want to make sure that they have the same fit out, same everything. And the asset resilience. So what we do usually is to bridge that gap by demonstrating cultural immersion as a revenue driver. As I said previously, you can generate higher revenue by stronger ADR. You can actually having a higher satisfaction rate and brand loyalty. So, and also be aligned with the Vision 2030 that positions Saudi the top destination as a cultural and tourism destination.
Okay. Noha, what pledge will you make to ensure cultural investment translates into both talent development and tangible returns?
So
let me remind you again, you're on الثقافي and شاهد and live streaming.
So culture is at the heart of Vision 2030. We are opening our doors for tourism. We have high number of visitors that we're targeting to come and visit Saudi Arabia and enjoy their visit. Making that visit memorable and enjoyable through immersive experiences in hospitality, augmenting that with culture and identity, and making sure the richness of Saudi culture and heritage are at the very heart of every visitor or tourist journey and experience in Saudi is something that we want to work together with our partners on through this platform and through all avenues that you mentioned through the program. I think we could work together to increase our number of visitors and tourists in Saudi Arabia. We can make sure that once they're there, we offer the best we have to offer and to showcase to the world. And that will for sure make the case for them to return. That will make the case for our investors in arts and culture or in hospitality to make their returns well beyond what they expected or what they started out to do. That's where we stand today, and that's, I'm sure, where we're going to reach in a few years.
Amazing. You're doing a great job. I'm not going to ask you for a pledge, but I will ask you for one commitment, your one takeaway commitment to investors about making Saudi culture investable through hospitality in specific.
I think it's a challenge, but it's a commitment at the same time. How to make cultural commercially scalable without losing authenticity. So, for example, now the highest number of rooms in Shedda hotels is 125. And why we are limiting that number of rooms, although it's not the best investable scenario, is because we are very afraid that we we lose our authenticity. So that's our challenge. We don't want the Saudi heritage to be a static museum piece. We want it to be a living narrative that translated into profitable business and modern hospitality through thoughtful design, curated experience, and community engagement or interaction. So I think that's what we're really working hard on it.
Amazing. Ibrahim, Reem, and Noha, I will give one last word for each of you, and the floor is yours.
I will quote one of the words you started with in this session, which is the soft power. I think it's happening now in the culture ecosystem. It's the starting for the real soft power of Saudi Arabia. We are now waiting for a giga events coming in the future. So I think the basic and the infrastructure for that soft power is ready to meet the demand.
Amazing. Reem?
Reem ولا نهى؟
No?
No.
Ed?
Cultural diplomacy is one of the areas that we really want to make sure that is available and well portrayed. It's leveraged to its best capacity. We want to ensure that while we're working with new sectors in Saudi Arabia and working on developing the value chain and ecosystem for those sectors, that this is something we do together in partnership with both the private sector as well as our government bodies. We have the opportunity today with our increased focus on arts and culture, with our increased focus on tourism, to bring those two worlds together, to make sure that we are not only talking about it from a distance, but rather on the ground with every other step of the value chain, working together on it and materializing it, making it come to true.
Amazing.
Well, I think including or introducing Saudi culture in our business in the first place was not only something that complementary, it was really initially to succeed. Because look at the other option. For a real estate investor, the other option is to bring international brand who will keep eating from the base fees, management fees, marketing fees, etc. So when you look at other alternative, you can easily create a brand, Saudi local homegrown brand that inspired from the rich heritage and the diverse culture of the Saudi, and create an amazing Saudi brand that people can relate to or can enrich their journey. So as I told you, I think that was something initial. It's not only complementary. And I think the strength of any brand comes from the story of it. So it's not only that art pieces, etc. No, what does it mean? What's the story behind it? I can give you stories from here till tomorrow, but I'm sure the time is running. So.
I have 2 minutes, but
okay.
One small story?
Very small story.
Very quick, because I have to
Yeah,
end
sure.
Yeah.
So we have an amazing artist. Her name is Afnan Tash. We worked with her in multiple projects. So basically in every project we work with 14 to 15 artists. So Afnan is not originally from Saudi. Her great-grandfather traveled all the way in a long journey, walking journey from Far East to Saudi Arabia to Mecca in particular. So what she did next to the reception, the check-in area, she drew an amazing map representing her great-grandfather journey to Saudi, and what does that reflect on her? What does that mean to her, finding a new destination, new home, country for her? So that's when I say, what does the Saudi culture means to her as a foreigner? So that's what I mean, is not copying the culture elements as it is, it's just finding the story, the inspiration, how we connect with the word.
Amazing. Amazing. Thank you for being with us today. And ladies and gentlemen, today we have not just heard stories, but investment pathways, talent as capital, and luxury as a platform for cultural immersion. Today, before we leave, each speaker has given us a clear pledge and a commitment. So we thank you for that. And I would like to please give a big round of applause to our speakers.
Thank you.
Thank you all. And it is now time for the partner acknowledgements. And I would like, of course, in a bit to have Tumi on stage for that. And thank you for being with us. Goodbye.